Your weekend sports on Talk Radio Europe with the Friday Sports Bar.
Well, good evening and welcome back to the show. My next guest is a true golfing legend. He's joining me live from the Augusta Masters, a tournament that he has won on 3 occasions. He's a 9 times major winner. He's the Black Knight. He's Gary Player. Gary, welcome to the show.
Dom, nice to be able to speaking to all 3 of you today.
These guys have been waiting for this with bated breath, I can assure you, for the last couple of weeks. Gary, you must be in your absolute element this weekend at Augusta.
I certainly am, to be experiencing my 50th anniversary and being 75 years of age and still very active, still doing 1,000 sit-ups a day. When I think about it, most of my friends at my age are dead.
Did you say 1,000 sit-ups every day?
Yes, unless I'm traveling, and that's not that many because there are a lot of people that do more than that.
Well, Gary, you mentioned it's your 50th anniversary since your fantastic win in 1961. That win in 1961 made you the first international winner of the coveted green jacket. You took on Arnold Palmer, the king, in his own backyard, coming from South Africa. Tell us about the memories of that famous win, and especially the long ago Monday. Talk us through that day.
Being over here and playing on the golf course, there were probably 20,000 people on the golf course, and everybody was pulling for him except my wife and my dog. So, you can imagine how tough it was. But having had a youth growing up, I had a lot of adversity. So when I heard them all screaming like that for Arnold, and I didn't blame them for doing it because he was their man, it just made me more determined. I played with a lot of fellas that got very discouraged with all the screaming, but I got encouraged and was determined to turn a negative into a positive, which is really the secret to life. So it was a great thrill beating him, and I nearly won it twice in a row. Arnold holed about an 80-foot putt on the 16th hole the next year to actually go on and beat me. But so it's got great memories because the memories go on, and memories are the cushions of life. I met President Eisenhower here, Bobby Jones here, and the family now. We had the par 3, and all my grandchildren every year. We got 21 grandchildren. They come along and caddy in the tournament. So the memories go on. The Masters dinner with all the champions in the room is probably the most cherished night. That and the evening at St Andrews when all the Open champions get together. It's something special.
Yeah, I think I saw on Sky Sports the other day your grandchildren running around on the green actually in the little 9-hole tournament before, and it really looked like a very special occasion for you, the family, the fans. Gary, you have won there in 74 and 78 as well, 9 majors as we've said. Do you think the pinnacle of your career was your US Open win in 1965 when you became the 3rd man in history to hold all 4 majors?
No, I think the pinnacle of my career is when I became the only player in the world to win the Grand Slam on the regular tour and senior tour. And I think the Grand Slam on the senior tour, that's the international Grand Slam on the senior tour, was tougher to win than the regular Grand Slam because, as you've seen, Tom Watson should have won the Open at 60. Fred Couples should have won the Masters last year at 50. These guys are just a fraction away from the regular tour players, and to win that Grand Slam and be the only one in the world when they've all tried, Watson, Palmer, Nicholas, Trevino, all of them have tried, but it was a result of my exercise program for all my life and my diet, which I'm a vegetarian, which keeps me lean and mean and tight. So all the effort that I put in all the years, it was rewarded, because when you get over 50, obviously it's tougher to do something than when you're younger.
Frank, you got a question for Gary?
Yeah, Mr. Player, nice to speak to you. I was reading an article a few weeks ago about how settled you are on your farm back in South Africa with your family and the horses and the workers. I would like to know, do you still enjoy travelling and playing, which obviously you have so many commitments, and watching you play in the par 3 at Augusta, there's many, many more shots left in that swing?
Well, I appreciate that, Frank. You know, I keep very supple, Frank, and you can see, actually without boasting, Frank, if you took 100 young men off the street at random, 20 years old, I'd beat them all. I beat 80% of them in the fitness contest. So it's really been worthwhile. And my great dream, Frank, I actually appear through the media to actually billions of people, because I go to China and India and Africa, and my great dream is to get this message through to young people to get off the obesity, because the world is riddled with obesity with the young people of the world. And so if I can get a message through that will help, it'll be very, very inspiring for me.
Wonderful.
But
Good.
I enjoy playing, Frank, and I'm as busy as I've ever been when I leave my farm, traveling and going to China, India, Africa, America, Morocco, Abu Dhabi, doesn't matter where it is. I love it. I love people. I love golf. I prefer farming to golf, but I love it all, and it's been a great life. But the big word, Frank, that comes into my mind is gratitude.
Yes,
I am particularly grateful for everything. The talent that has been loaned to me, all these 165 tournaments and Grand Slams, it's not me. It's purely a gift that's been bestowed upon me.
How fantastic. How absolutely wonderful. Lovely to speak to you.
Now, Frank, tell me your second name. I didn't get it. What is your surname? What is your surname?
Your second name, your surname, Frank.
Willis.
Willis, and you played the tour for how long?
I didn't. That's Steve next to me who's played the tour. I'm a golfer, but mainly a tennis player. I played tennis all around the world, and I still enjoy going back to all the places that I played and seeing the people that recognise me, and being slightly nostalgic. I enjoy it. And
good man, and God bless.
So nice to speak to you, Mr. Player.
Hi, Gary. It's Stephen McAllister speaking to you now. Frank, he's the old guy that's here with us in the studio, Gary. But I played on the European Tour from '87 through to 1990. I won a couple of times in 1990.
I remember your name.
Well, Gary, we met a long time ago. I certainly remember this. A privilege for me to speak to you tonight. But I spoke to you down at Fancourt. I played in a tournament there, and I don't know whether it was one of your sort of sanctioned events there, but the winner of that event, I think it was maybe about 1992, was Devet Basson.
Oh yes.
Do you remember Devet?
Yes, very well indeed.
And it's another thing that I wanted to ask you is how you managed to just keep going at the enthusiasm you have for not just for the game but for life. What keeps you going, Gary?
Well, I think I'm very happy for a start, and I have 21 grandchildren, so if I can remain healthy and happy and healthy, I can enjoy the love of my grandchildren, which is so special. It's like a mulligan. It's like a mulligan in life. So it's something very special, and I just happen to love people. I have a zest for life. Probably having been so poor and struggling as a young person, I just wake up every day and I can say, well, I'm either going to be happy or sad, but I choose happy because happiness is contagious and sadness is dreadful.
Absolutely, I appreciate that, and I wish you well this season ahead as well, and keep that big turn going.
All right, and good luck to you, my friend.
Thank you, Gary.
Gary, I've got Alan here who'd like to ask a question, and Alan used to own El Paraiso, a club that you designed.
Yes, Alan, how are you?
I'm fine. I feel like I'm almost attached to you, having owned the golf club that you designed way back in the early 70s.
I wish that I'd done it for you today with our new modern-day team. Yeah. And I was really just learning then with Ron Kirby. But anyway, has it turned out all right?
Yeah, it's fine. It's been quite famous on the coast. It's had its position in the game. Held lots of tournaments. A lot of obvious local golfers enjoy it greatly. I think it was early 70s, and I think the first Pro-Am there, wasn't it Peter Oosterhouse, I think, won the first Pro-Am there?
Yes, I think that's correct.
Yeah. And then,
what is your question?
Well, not much to say. That I'm just grateful to talk to you, Mr. Player, and I've watched you for many, many years. I'm the oldest one out of this lot. I'm close to your age, and I am a businessman. I'm not a sportsman like these other two. I've tried to play the sports, but it's not the same when you're concentrating on the businesses that I've done. I bought the golf course in the early 80s, and we did tinker one or two of your things, by the way. We did change a couple of the tees.
That's natural.
Yeah, and now the members own it, and the members are enjoying it greatly.
Oh, well, it's lovely to talk to you. And the nice thing about golf, most sports sportsmen and sportswomen, they don't even last a decade. You know, I've won golf tournaments in 6 decades now. So golf is a friend-making machine. It has longevity. It's played everywhere in the world, and it keeps people like you and I talking about the great times we had, and take care.
Yeah, and I just hope that one day I can meet you and you can let me have some of that stuff you're taking.
That stuff is hard work.
Gary, it's Dom here again. Gary, just moving away from golf, there's something that's very close to your heart. You established it in 1983. That's your foundation, the Gary Player Foundation. It's a non-profit organisation. I know you're very proud of this part of your life. Tell the listeners out there exactly what this is all about, Gary.
I am, Dom, because as a small company we've raised close to $35 million for underprivileged children in South Africa, the AIDS Foundation for children in China, in the quadrants of the world like USA, Europe, China, Africa. And we'll go into other places. We'll go probably into places like, well, Abu Dhabi, we've already done it. It was terrific. And Abu Dhabi is becoming this incredible tourist area. We're doing Morocco. Morocco is another great place for the future of golf. And so this is a great thrill. I was poor, had nothing, and I always said if I could become a champion that I would help underprivileged people, and golf is a great catalyst to doing it, Dom. We raised one day, Arnold Palmer, Jack Nicklaus and I last year, we raised $15 million in one day and broke the world record by $8 million for one day's effort.
Fantastic. And part of that, I think one of the initial stages of the project was a school in Athlone, wasn't it? Is that correct, where you've educated over 500 students now?
Yes, that's Blair Athol.
Blair Athol, that's correct, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it's actually, it'll be close, I would imagine, to thousands of students now.
Yes, I'm actually originate from South Africa, Gary, and I remember that very fondly. Gary, before we let you go, it's been a pleasure to have you on. Who's going to win the Masters this year?
I picked Rory McIlroy and then Phil Mickelson prior to the tournament, but you know, Phil Mickelson and Tiger Woods, they don't hit too many fairways with a driver, but you've got to take your hat off to them, how they recover, and the recovery is so good, and their short game is so good, and it points out that the big thing is not how far you hit the ball, but how you putt. But the best golf swing in the entire field at Augusta is Rory McIlroy. And Tiger said that 2 years ago. Tiger said he's better at 19 than I was. Now, that was a great statement coming from Tiger. And I don't know if he's got the ingredients inside, only he knows. But wow, am I impressed with this young man. You're going to hear a lot from this man in the future.
Gary, I'm going to put you on the spot very, very quickly. If you were playing in your prime today with all the equipment that they have, I know it's very awkward to ask these crossing of generations, could you take them all on?
I wish I could. There's nobody playing today that would have beaten Nicklaus. If you gave Nicklaus all this modern-day equipment and jets and prize money and illegal grooves and a ball that goes 50 yards further, wow, I would love to have played. I mean, because they sure make some cash. We didn't make cash, but we made a lot of friends.
Gary, it's been a pleasure to have you on. You're an absolute legend of the sport. You're an inspiration to millions around the world. Enjoy the rest of your week at the Masters. I'm sure we'll see you popping up on the cameras here and there. It's been fantastic to have you on this afternoon. Thanks so much.
I really enjoyed talking to all you fellas. God bless.
Cheers, Gary. Thank you very much.
All right.